Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it okay? Yeah. Are people using Twitter today? You're using it today.
Yes.
You're using the hashtag for this conference, which is #SSBI13. Small schools, big ideas 13.
That's great.
Oh, you didn't know this. There are lots of tweets about this conference. If you're on Twitter, look for #SSBI13. Okay, I make all the tweets, but now you can. But the reason for this is there are colleagues who aren't here today. They have family commitments, or they cannot travel here because they have to do something else. And so, by me sharing through my Twitter, I share with the colleagues that aren't here now, and they can see. And I can share the key points, the quotes from Stephen. I shared the fact that we had this wonderful student, ex-student, talking about her experience of a small school. This is of interest to people who aren't here now. Why should we not share this with them? This is really important. More on this now. I'm very lucky. I have my Twitter name is my first name. Jan @Jan is already gone. You can't have that.
No.
I'm also lucky that I got here. This is how it looks in England. I said to my wife, could she send me some pictures? She sent them on Twitter because if she texted me, it would cost money for these pictures to come. So she tweeted them. And interestingly, when I was in Friesland, I spoke to children in a school, and I told them that to get into my garden at home, I have to go upstairs. They could not understand this.
No.
Is he a floating garden? No, I live on a hill. So this is my wife is in the garden taking a photograph of the roof of my house, which you can see has covered in snow and the hills on the back. And then she sent me another one yesterday evening, and I thought, it's worse than I thought. Not only is it snowing, but the aliens come in their spaceships. I don't know whether I don't know what there's a problem with the iPhone camera or something, but I quickly sent a message. It's okay, is it? You know, meteors falling as well. Anyway, to set some context for today, I thought I would share a quote with you from the blog of Mika van Keulen. Is that how you say it?
That's our colleague.
Yeah, okay. I said I was preparing my presentation this morning whilst the presentations were in Dutch, and okay. So I went to the Kennisnet website, and I was led to this blog post, and I found the blog post, and I translated it in Google Chrome. Would it be possible for me to have some water,
Yes,
please?
of course.
It's my fault, I should have thought of it. And then I tried to find the bit in the original Dutch. Maybe this is right, I don't know what this says. I think this sentence is about connections, going to the internet and using the internet to make and find connections. Well, I will talk about this more now. Okay. When you're a small school, it can feel very lonely. You can feel like you don't have friends. But my view is that the cloud is where your friends are. Through the use of technology, you can contact friends, colleagues, useful people to know through the use of the cloud. And I will talk about this. It allows us to make these links. And when we make those links, we can build a strong community where we're all joined together, and through that joining up, through those numbers, we have a strength. And maybe you need this more than ever in the Netherlands at the moment. So I will talk about some tools that can help, and tools that I know are working well in the UK, where I come from. I presume you know these are blogging tools. Mm-hmm. Do you know Edmodo?
Yeah.
Edmodo is a tool, it's very similar to Facebook, but you make it for yourself, or for your community, or for your students, and it works in the same way. You can do a poll, a forum, you have a wall, and so on. And you choose the membership. It's a good tool. These are tools that were very popular 5 years ago in the UK. Virtual learning environment, learning platform, a suite of ready-made communication and collaboration tools. We have ones that are made from Moodle. These are commercial ones, Frog, Life, DB Primary. I think I saw one on the Kennisnet website. You use one. It's Learning, is that?
Yes,
Yeah?
It's Learning.
Okay, so similar tool.
It's from Norway.
I will talk more, a little more on these. I should have mentioned, because I have here Google. Google have a suite of really helpful tools for collaboration, documents, spreadsheets, presentation tools. This is powerful stuff. Of course, now Microsoft also. I heard, Sandra mentioned Office 365, and these are also the equivalent tools. Just 3 years too late.
But for free.
Yeah. And then these social media tools like Twitter and Facebook. And when I was talking to, it might have been Henk earlier, or it might have been Lex, I can't remember, I mentioned quad blogging. Who was I talking to? Was it you, Henk? Us. So neither of you. It was, I forgot your name. Jimke. I'd say very briefly a little bit about quad blogging. A friend of mine, he's a head teacher in the UK, he started his children with writing blog posts. And they write their stories, they write reports, and unlike the classroom, where the audience is perhaps 25 children, their peers, maybe their teacher or the head might come in and read the work. The blog gives the audience of the world, and the world can also leave a comment. And David, my friend, was very successful with this. He has a big network on Twitter, 10,000 followers. So he can say, read Lucy's story and leave a comment. And there were comments from all David's. And he goes to schools and he says, you must do the blogging. It's wonderful. And so they start. And then they leave their blog post and no one visits. Or maybe a parent, or maybe another teacher, and then tumbleweed, nothing happens anymore. So how can we get an audience for the children as writers? So now he does quad blogging. You find it if you Bing or Google, whichever search engine you like. And he puts 4 schools together. In week 1, this school, they write the blog posts. And then these 3 schools, they read and comment. And then in week 2, this school writes the blog posts and the other schools read and comment. And the schools are all over the world. So you might have a school in New Zealand with a school in Canada, and a school in England, and a school in France. And they take it in turns. This is good stuff. I thought I'd just mention that. A quick look at learning platforms. If you have a learning platform, it can be really useful. Many of the schools I work with use one to collaborate and to support each other. Not just, this is the point, not just in their school. The one they're using is called DB Primary. It's aimed at primary school. But the way this one is being used is with head teachers. 17 schools, they're a group of schools in a locality. They came to me and they said, we want to work a little bit more together. Is there technology that can help us to do this? And I said, well, why don't you have DB Primary? Let's see if we can use it. So they have their own private forum area that they share. And they've forgotten that I can go and look. So they think they're all private. They ask things of each other. I keep an eye on them and I think, oh, this is really good. This is really good. So this is a post from a head teacher who says, I am wanting a small area in the playground fenced. I need some fencing. I used the same company for a number of years, but they have now closed down. Does anyone have a recommendation? And in come the replies from her peers, other head teachers who help out. And others will say, oh no, we're much cheaper. We know one that's much cheaper than that, use them. So this network is useful. Here's some more. This is a teacher asking about creating a memory book. So when their children leave, like the student this morning, as well as the poems and so on, they will have photographs in a book that they will give to the children when they leave. Pictures about the life and the lives of the children and the staff. She says it will cost about £13, but she knows that if she gets some other schools to agree, then the company will make it cheaper. So she says, anyone else interested? And 5, 10 of her colleagues say, yeah, we'll do it. And so they use the joined up approach to get a deal on it. I think there were then some replies where from the other head teachers who said, our parents never give us permission to have the children photographed. What do you do about that? And the conversation went, no. That's another whole thing. Yeah. And by the way, I didn't plan any particular bits in this session for you to talk, so you just put your hand up and talk. Otherwise, you might get bored. I don't want that. You say, "Okay, you stop me." I'm happy for that.
In Holland, we have a lot of communities for teachers.
Yes.
So we are
this kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah.
We do in England as well. It's like the staff room. Sometimes there are people who come in and they are full of excitement and they share their brilliant ideas. And then there are those people who sit there and go, ugh,
Yeah.
rubbish.
There goes another one.
Yeah. And these communities, Twitter very much, it's the same. Every type of person. What's this one? How do you teach phonics? How do you group your children? And the replies are here about how they do it. And these are just some of the topics they talk. How do you deal with volunteers, children with special needs, minutes from their meetings, how you boost kids for mathematics, phonics, etc. They talk all the time, this group. They're really, really helping each other. This is good. This is what we always thought would happen, but I don't know about in the Netherlands, it doesn't happen enough in the UK. So, on to my main topic, which is social media. What is social media? It's impossible to define, really. Here are just a small selection of social media tools.
A few.
Grouped by category. So here we have some examples of wikis, photography. This is the blogging area. This is all the Twittery stuff. And this is, can't remember when I got this, a couple of years old, this image. How big would this be now? And you know, this is a symptom of the way that the internet, the technology, is changing the way the world is. Once upon a time, we received our information from the internet. Now we give as much as we receive. It's truly kind of free flow. And this was the move from Web 1.0 to Web 2.0. Specifically, though, I'm going to talk about 2 social media platforms, Twitter and Facebook. More on Twitter. I like Twitter more than Facebook.
Why?
For me, Twitter is a professional tool, where Facebook is a social tool. There's a mixing of the two. Someone said it very well. Facebook is for the people you went to school with. Twitter is for the people you wished you'd been at school with. Okay, so I think that says it. That's quite. But we'll talk about Twitter first of all, but Twitter specifically in the context of education. And I'm going to split that again into Twitter for educational professionals, people like me and you, and how this is a useful tool for us as professionals. But I will also talk a bit about how schools and educational organisations are using Twitter in exciting ways. If you don't know, is there anyone now who doesn't know what Twitter is about? Twitter originally was, what are you doing? I'm having breakfast. I'm going to the supermarket. Look at my coffee. Here I am with Jan Lepeltag. And I think the people who invented this platform never thought where it would go. It's often the way. It's like with children, isn't it? They will tell you where to go with something. You don't lead it. Same with Twitter. They invent it and then people use it and show the way to use it. It was originally, what are you doing? It's very condensed, just this limited number of characters. The power comes because within the tweet you can share a link. So in the small, you link to the big. And that might be to a website, it might be a resource. This is powerful. Look at this that I used yesterday for teaching science. Look at this blog post about the latest news of this. Look at this newspaper article, and you can signpost and see the signposts out to these things. This is also a powerful tool, the opportunity to include a photograph now in your tweet. So the school trip or the learning that happens outside can be archived and documented with tweets for the parent who is watching what the children might be doing that day. Or when the children are away, staying on a residential visit, the parents can see what time they will be coming back, that they're having fun. The use of photograph is very, very powerful. So, Twitter is sometimes very boring. Do you have this word banal? The same word, yeah? This is a problem. It can also be very useful. We're going to explore these two aspects. And a third aspect, it can be very dangerous, and I will explain how that is the case also. So, what's the banal? These are tweets that I have seen arrive in my Twitter stream from people that I follow. Why do I follow these people who are telling me that their wardrobe doors have arrived? Or that they've got a friend staying for the night and that they need to buy the gin? That he's finished going through his emails. She's a good account to follow. It's not the real Queen. Okay. She's saying, I'm going to spend the day under the duvet today, and I'll send the Duke of Edinburgh. That's what she, her husband. Her husband is going to do the appointments today. If you read her, she drinks a lot of gin.
We have we have an account for our Queen the same way. She's always bashing her son.
Yeah. It's a similar thing here. She doesn't like our Prime Minister. This is very clear. I got a text message from the Prime Minister. Idiot. And this is my friend who does the quad blogging, Deputy Mitchell, David Mitchell. He's going to a car club meeting, and he's going to wear his flying hat, moustache, and goggles. So it's very banal. This is the straw, okay? And Twitter is full of straw, but in the straw there are the gems, the pearls. Here are just some. This is the council that I work for. My council, my local council, they share a lot of useful things. More on that later. This teacher is sharing some spelling resources, and you click and there are the spelling resources for years 3, 4, 5 and 6. He's just, out it comes. Because he's made it, why not share it? Andrew is talking about our beloved Secretary of State, Michael Gove, and something that he has announced. This is a Twitter feed from our Department for Education in the UK. So they give me information about what's new there. And sometimes the link between the banal and the useful, the way it joins up leads to this thing. Do you have this word as well?
Yeah.
Serendipity. It's when you go to look for something and you find something else.
Yeah.
And I'll share a bit on this as well. So I say something, this is me, very boring. I say, I'm going to a nearby village and we're going to have food and drink and we're going to walk in the moonlight. And then I get a reply from Helen who says, oh, I love Hebden Bridge, I spend lots of time there. And I say, well, I knew it was where you live, I've just passed through it before, I think we're going to dine at the bridge. And so she then says, but there's a fab Thai restaurant near the canal, and a Greek by the traffic lights, and the Moyles Hotel does good food too. So I start with something very banal. Who's interested to know that I'm going to Hebden Bridge? Now I've got a choice of 3 brilliant places to eat recommended by a local person who lives there. This is good. This is serendipity. And on the conversation goes. This was how it looked out of my bedroom window, or my house window, not long ago. This was actually the last time it snowed, not the most recent time, because luckily it wasn't like that. When I came on Friday, the weather people said it will be like this, so I came early. But I'm lying in bed, and this is what Twitter is doing. This is my council account that tells us of the schools that are closing. Thornhill J&I School closed due to snow. Brockholes C of E J&I School closed due to snow. Gunnersall St Mary's Primary School closed. So in come the snow closures. And I'm sitting there thinking I need to go to a school and I'm waiting for them to say that they're closed. Do I have to get out of bed? Meanwhile, my daughter is saying, do I have to go to school today? And I was saying, well, it hasn't come through yet. Because this is the first place that it will, this is the first place you see that the school is closed. And here are some more. This is a tweet from Wootton Primary. They're not just closed, but they want everyone to take an account of everyone's safety. Another primary school, due to staffing and health and safety, school won't be closed. We promise to work our pupils twice as hard tomorrow. I like this one because the head teacher here is called Marcus Newby, but he's not the only person that uses the school Twitter account. But if he does use the Twitter account, he puts his name at the end, so you know it's the voice of the head teacher. Mm-hmm. If someone else uses it, they put their initials at the end, so you know it's the voice of the administrator. And another one. This is a link to some advice from our Department of Education about what to do when your school closes for snow. It's useful stuff. We looked at banal, we looked at useful, a brief look at why Twitter is incredibly dangerous. This is a newspaper article about a student at a polytechnic who said something on his Twitter that was racist, that was offensive and trouble, because it's like you're publishing something illegal. This lady, she's not the most popular politician in the UK. She said some things, and then someone on Twitter threatened her children and said that they would wanted to kill her children. This is bad. And it leads to big trouble. Chris Cairns was awarded £90,000 because of something that someone said about him on Twitter. He's Indian Premier League cricket. Another student, Liam Stacey, went to prison for 56 days because of something he said on Twitter about a footballer, a black footballer. This is serious. I think we have a responsibility to help young people not to do this stuff. I thought we might send a tweet and see what happens. If I send a tweet from here, in case there's anyone who... I'm going to do it.